I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man. I've been a fan of Spider-Man since I was a little kid. And I even have this blanket to prove it. I got this when I was like 4. And I'm 24 now. So I've had this for 20 years. And Tom Holland has been Spider-Man since around Civil War. So it's been what? 2016. So Tom Holland has been Spider-Man for the last decade, which is crazy. And he's done a pretty good job, I think. Any shortcomings that have been a result of the Tom Holland movies, not his fault. It's been like a script thing or a direction thing, whatever. I grew up with the original trilogy, which was super fun. I actually like Spider-Man 3 because I like Venom. I thought it was fun, but I know it's not that good of a movie. It was actually really hard to watch as an adult because it's so bad. But Spider-Man 2's classic, Spider-Man 1's classic. Now, we've got Tom Holland, and I've watched all 3, okay? Homecoming was good, but it was like a Marvel movie, right? Tony Stark was in there a lot. Iron Man was in there a lot. It definitely like played a part in the major cinematic universe flavor that was going on, which is fine. Spider-Man Far From Home, when he's in Europe or whatever, with Mysterio, I thought Mysterio was cool. It felt a little more like a Spider-Man movie, but the plot was still about Iron Man. I mean, even Mysterio's beef was with Tony, and Tony's just dead. So he's like picking up the scraps of Tony's stuff. That's how it works, right? Whatever. Spider-Man No Way Home with the alternate dimensions or whatever, that was cool in cinema. When you see it for the first time in theaters and you're having a good time with everyone and, you know, it's this mashup, you've got all the old Spider-Man and you've got Tom Holland. It's like a crossover event. It was really good timing. All of those movies, I think Tom Holland did a fine job. I think he's really good at Peter. I think he's good at being Peter as a kid. I think he's good at being Spider-Man. Very jokey, very relaxed. Then we get to Brand New Day. This movie, this is a good-ass movie. Where do I even start? It feels like a Spider-Man movie. Not only does this feel like a good Spider-Man movie, but it's a good movie in general. The MCU, especially lately, they have a style that kind of sets them apart from the rest of movies. If you've seen MCU movies and you watch regular movies, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you watch like a normal movie, a normal drama or whatever, and, you know, there's interesting camera movements and there's like color grading and, you know, actual things going on. But then you watch an MCU movie and it's sort of washed out and bland, and they're all designed to sort of fit into the same catalog of movies, even the good movies, right? And then you get to Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is a good movie. It's shot super well. It's very cozy. It's very like isolated. They characterize New York really well. He spends a lot of time in Queens. He spends a lot of time like down on the ground doing friendly neighborhood stuff. I mean, in like the first 10 minutes, he's fighting Scorpion and Tombstone, which is crazy. You know, like, that's awesome for that to be happening in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And forgive me if you think that's a spoiler, I apologize. But it's the first 10 minutes of the movie, you know? With all the characters you see from the trailer, you would think that it would get cluttered or whatever. But it's not. It's not. It feels like a fleshed out world. Rather than anyone competing for screen time, it feels like a completely fleshed out world. I really liked Frank Castle in it. I was kind of worried about that, but I loved it. I really like the antagonist in this film. I really like the action. He's actually wearing a suit. In the other Tom Holland movies, he's like CGI cartoon the whole time. He's actually in a suit, and you can tell he's in a suit, and he looks good in the suit, and there's like choreography and action, and there's like wire work, and it's all live action stuff, which is cool. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, here's Scorpion, right at the beginning of the movie. Everyone's wearing costumes. Rather than it being all CGI, they've got costumes on, which is awesome. Frank Castle was hilarious. Loved that. I think Bruce Banner was an awesome addition. I kind of like his low-key addition there. It makes sense to the plot because, you know, the trailers, Peter's struggling with his powers or whatever. And so he goes to Banner to ask questions about mutation and stuff. And Banner's, like, thrown off him. He's like, who are you again? You know, he knows way too much. Yeah, this was awesome and gross. This movie is great by itself. It's perfect by itself. Like, yeah, you maybe need to know what's going on, but they do a good job of explaining what's happening. Even if you've never seen the other Tom Holland movies, they give you enough context to what's going on that you're like, you don't need to watch the other movies to get this. This is just a really good, isolated movie by itself. It exists in the MCU, but it doesn't have to, you know? It benefits from existing in the MCU because you get to have the Punisher. You get to have Scorpion. You know, you get to have Bruce Banner in there. That's cool. It actually benefits from being in the world rather than like serving the existence of the world. You know what I mean? Because I know there was a period where MCU movies felt like they were all sequels to each other. You know, it's like you're watching every Marvel movie to get context for the next Marvel movie, and it's just this endless cycle of watching movies that aren't really movies. They're not really movies. They're serviceable, I guess. But this movie had like themes and emotions and characters and arcs, and it was a story. It was an actual story in its own world. And I know that sounds like, you know, oh, low bar, the movie's a movie. But I've been watching movies lately, okay? So I've developed taste. I know what a movie's supposed to feel like. So I watched this, and I'm like, wow, I'm struck, because this is an actual movie. Dude, pre-Endgame, Marvel sucked dog ass. I'm sick of pretending people watch those movies. I watched all of them. And I wouldn't say it was dog ass, okay? They had a standard of quality that was at least mediocre, you know? At worst, the Marvel movies were like, whatever. The Iron Man trilogy is still peak. Black Panther's alright. Doctor Strange was good. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies. The Captain America trilogy's dope. Thor's not great. Guardians 1 is good. Guardians 2 is good. Guardians 2 is also good. All three are great movies. I think all the Guardians movies are great. I don't remember a dang thing. Are you kidding me? That's Kurt Russell. I loved your mother so much. It was so sad when I had to put a tumor in her brain. What? Bang, 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 bang. That was awesome. That's a great movie. I remember the funny gif with the zoom in on Chris Pratt's face. That's it. Yeah, but you don't remember the context? The whole movie's about that. He's like trying to, you know, be friends with his dad, and his dad's all sketchy, and then we find out that he's like ruining the world. That was an example of, I feel like the MCU wasn't able to react to that very well, because it was like earth-shattering event, okay? He had planted all these little shrubs all over the planet and activated them. It should have been on the news, this thing exploding. That should have been an Avengers level thing. Oh, that's another thing I like about Spider-Man, right? Have you guys seen Thunderbolts? Thunderbolts is pretty good. I like Thunderbolts. It's not great, but it feels like that old school MCU vibe where it's like, okay, this is just a fun movie. And they're all like misfits and losers. So I like that about it as well. Black Widow's in this movie, which is really funny. She's really funny in this movie. She was very, very entertaining. And again, the whole movie felt like a comic book. It felt like an actual Spider-Man comic book with like all the different characters and all the different goofy moments, and the comedy took a back seat, and it worked. Didn't she die? Not that Black Widow. I'm talking about her sister. I'm talking about her sister, the new Black Widow. Florence Pugh, Thunderbolts. This movie's actually really good. I kind of like the darker direction that MCU's been going. Well, not been going, but with Thunderbolts and Spider-Man, it's darker. I'm sick of the goofy, silly, haha, we're gonna make jokes every 3 seconds. This movie's not that. This movie is about her being super depressed that her sister is dead. Okay? And all of these washed up losers trying to save the world. Like, this is Captain America, but not really. This isn't actually Captain America. This is the one that they tried to replace the Falcon with, and he's like racist and he killed somebody. He like killed somebody on camera. There's like a clip of him killing somebody with Captain America's shield. And then you've got communist Captain America, Captain Red or whatever his name is, Bucky Barnes, of course, and I don't know who these two are. I enjoyed this movie. She was so good though. I really like her character in it. I like her being all depressed and sad and stuff. Spider-Man was great, and I love that Florence Pugh was in it. She had this whole bit where she's like, oh, step into my office, and it's like a warm pool. She's like floating in the pool naked. You know? And then Spider-Man's like, what do you mean? Yeah, just take off the leotard. You could soak up, and this is my office. And he takes off his whole outfit except for his mask. And she's like, really? Really, you wear the mask too? You know, that's another thing about this movie, right? It's got a slower pace, but I actually really like that it's got a slower pace. I like that he's just talking to people sometimes. I like being with Spider-Man. It felt like a comic. Like anywhere where there was a pacing issue, I didn't feel it. Like other people described it as a pacing issue, and it definitely did slow the movie down, but I think it worked for what the movie was trying to do. They're really trying to gain your trust back on the character of Spider-Man, on the character of New York as it pertains to the Marvel Universe. And they earned that. I think for a situation like that, you have to go slow. You have to have a moment where they're soaking in the pool. I think that's an entertaining enough environment, like situation where it's like, I don't care if it's slowed down because like I'm just in awe of the situation. Like, why is Spider-Man half naked with only his mask and Florence Pugh's naked? Also, this movie's a little dark. This movie's a little bit darker, a little more violent than I expected it to be. Now, you know, don't expect a rated R movie or nothing like that. But Frank Castle, for example, the Punisher's in here and he says bullshit like 50 times. He's like, oh, that's some bullshit. This is some bullshit. Just all the time. It's really funny. Oh, this is the director, I believe. He did a great job. Zendaya, she must be exhausted, dude. She's doing like 12 movies this year. She had the drama, which was great. She's got the Odyssey, which she was barely in, so, you know, I'm not saying that it wasn't tiring. I imagine the press tour was more exhausting than the movie, because she was not really in that movie. Spider-Man, and then Dune. That's 4 blockbusters. That's not like normal movies. These are like, 3 of those movies are the biggest movies of the year, and then the drama just for fun. You know? She's going crazy. Okay, enough press photos. Show me more screenshots of the movie. Wow, she looks so good. This fit is fire. I would wear some shit like this. Ah, CEO of Sex. Yeah, there he is. It's crazy seeing Zendaya in real stuff now. I remember the Shake It Up days. Me too. I love Shake It Up. Obviously I gave this 5 stars. I mean, I don't even... I was smiling and laughing 2 minutes into the movie. The action was amazing. The dialogue was amazing. No, see, here's the thing. Don't say Marvel, okay? Because it doesn't feel... I can't overstate it. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. It doesn't. It feels like a Spider-Man movie. It reminds me of Sam Raimi's movies. It really does feel like its own thing. The only thing that makes it feel like Marvel is the fact that it's Bruce Banner from the Avengers. But Florence Pugh is like new gen. They've got some new characters in there. Very cool. Frank is in there. It feels like a Spider-Man. It feels like Spider-Man. It's 5 stars and a like. Easily. I mean, again, 2 minutes in, I was just like, I was giddy. I loved it. I was having a great time. The Invite. I'm gonna be brief with this one. I thought it was great. When I saw the first trailer of it, I thought the trailer was edited so well. I saw that there were only 4 actors in the movie. I was like, this is gonna be peak. It felt like a stage play almost. It was just Olivia Wilde, Seth Rogen, what's his name? Edward Norton and Penelope Cruz all together acting. It felt like a stage play. Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde are in this relationship. They've been married for a really long time. They have a daughter or whatever. And Olivia Wilde invites these 2 over for dinner. And apparently they've been making a lot of noise because they have a lot of hot, heavy sex. Drama ensues. The dialogue is really good. It's about this relationship kind of being tired of one another and having to figure out how to bring back the spark. It turns out these are like, they have sex parties or whatever, and they're really exciting, and they do like threesomes and whatever. And there's a part of the movie where they like invite these 2 to have sex with them, but it doesn't end up working out because they're both like really insecure and, you know, they don't love themselves or whatever. It's a really interesting movie. My biggest issue with this movie, as well as it's all written, Seth Rogen's character is very one-dimensional. They both have their issues, but when you look at the dynamic of their relationship, it is so obvious that he is the problem. It doesn't feel like there's that much nuance to it. You know a lot of why he's the problem, and that's fine. That's cool, but it just felt like it's so obvious that he's the issue, and like this whole thing would work out if he just locked in a little bit. But otherwise, this is a great movie. I gave it 4 stars, and I gave it 5 stars? Holy, I'll knock it down. Yeah, just because of that issue I had with Seth Rogen's character. But it's really a great movie. Also, the fact that Olivia Wilde directed it and acted in it, she was giving so much. Her performance was amazing. I want to watch it with Dusty because I think we would enjoy watching it together. And that's it. That's all I've really seen. I have The Invite pulled up on IMDb, but it's all press photos. There's no photos from the actual movie. So who gives an F?